Hello there, good morning, it's sunny, suck my universe, because I'm going to have to censor that, damn it, I'm just creating more work for myself, and hey, you thought I'd forgotten about it, you thought I had forgotten about Modern Warfare 3, I mean, I peppered gameplay in here and there with my commentaries, it's very good for backing gameplay for when I want to talk about something innocuous like people taking food too seriously, but when it comes to actually talking about the game, I let it slip. And the thing is, I know that when the game came out, I said that I was going to talk about it, I was going to come back to it like once a month, and the reason for that was because I had a lot of gusto for the game. I thought that, okay, this is the one, like I was still into it. I was still into it at the tail end of the year. I think I remember playing it on Boxing Day, which to the uninitiated is the day after Christmas Day, when we all box our grandmas. Always loses. But yeah, so 26th I played it, and I think I played it beyond that. So I had a few months off where I was playing other games. I think the reason for that was just like it became a game that I didn't feel was servicing what I wanted it to service. Like when the game came out, the whole reason I was hyped for it and I wanted to play it was because it was, sold to me as this like nostalgic trip down memory lane, that the whole year of Call of Duty would just be Modern Warfare 2.0. And by Modern Warfare 2 I mean Modern Warfare 2 2009. It's exhausting. But it was sold to me as like a remaster of Modern Warfare 2 2009, and I should have known. I should have had hindsight to know that of course that's not going to last. Like people aren't just going to want to play on the same maps all year. That's not how things work anymore. It wasn't even how things worked when Modern Warfare 2 2009 came out. There was additional DLC at that point, but I thought that at least they were going to create a playlist just with the classic maps, and to this day they still haven't. From what I can see, they still have not created that classic playlist. So I backed out, and I thought, well, I've got a backlog of games to play. I played some excellent games, Alan Wake 2, Remnant 2, to name a few. Man, my rhyming is just absolutely on point. That's incredible. Alan Wake 2, Remnant 2, to name a few. But yeah, so I played it. I played a bunch of games, and I thought, okay, I'm going to pick it up, give it a go, and see what I think of it a few months later. So it had been around about 5 months between when I dropped it and when I picked it up again. My initial response was that, honestly, as weird as it sounds, it felt very much the same. Like booting into it, it felt excuse me, I sort of had this feeling of like, oh, I don't know what I expected. I guess I kind of expected the UI to change, little bits here and there. Like you go from Infinite when Modern Warfare 3 came out to Infinite now, Halo Infinite. It's kind of a different game. The UI is a little bit different, the background's different, the layout slightly changed and what have you, and this just feels exactly the same. And I guess I think this was always the case. I don't think they ever changed the UI for these Call of Duty games, but I don't know why I expected it. Everything just kind of felt the same, and I guess there's a sense of like, well, if it ain't broke, I always thought the menu was fairly good for Modern Warfare 3, with a couple of exceptions that were carryovers from Modern Warfare 2's awful menu. So this one's okay, I guess, like I said, if it ain't broke, then that's fine. We still have map voting, which is tremendous and so rare nowadays, and it's more about the deeper content, the deeper side of things. And I have to say, this is where things get controversial, I was actually kind of impressed. I mean, there's so much content here, it's spilling out. There is so much here. In terms of map variety, my god, this is second to none. There are so many maps. Now bear in mind, I think the game launched with 16 maps, and they've added some of the maps from Modern Warfare 2 last year, so of course whether or not you count that is up to you. And then they've added their own DLC maps. But in terms of like a big bucket to pull from, all of these different maps to pull from, this is very impressive. I mean, you can start a game night and just continuously play on different map to different map to different map to different map. And one kind of cool thing about it is that it's a sort of testament to how different map design is and how map design has changed. So you'll go from like, oh, this is one of the classic maps, this is gonna play like a classic map, to, oh, this is a Modern Warfare 2 map, this is Infinity Ward 2022, to, oh, this is a Sledgehammer map because this is the DLC. Now, in terms of the DLC maps that have been added, I don't know if I've seen them all yet, because to be quite honest with you, there's so much there that I don't know, but I feel as though maybe I have. There isn't a giant amount of DLC maps from Sledgehammer here, but there's a fair few. I remember there being a ton with World War II. There's a fair few here though, so I think they range from visually, I'm not a fan of most of them. I personally just don't like... Okay, let's just get into it. I don't like Sledgehammer's map design, personally speaking. I don't hate it. I don't really dislike it. It just doesn't gel with me all that well. I think their maps are always a bit too small. I'm not a huge fan of the design that they go for. They usually feel a little bit more sort of unrealistic and unbelievable than the other maps that come from Infinity Ward and the other one, Treyarch. And here, that's kind of on full show. These DLC maps feel a little bit, I don't know, like I wouldn't remember them, and that they blend into one another a lot because they just feel so uncharacteristic. Like it's kind of the opposite of the Treyarch maps, where it's like they tried to build as much character into every map as possible. You know, Infinity Ward, they go for the realistic settings. Treyarch go for, oh, you're going to remember this map, and we want this map to like have its own personality and character. Sledgehammer is like kind of the halfway in between, and not as good as either in either category. There's a terminal map, you know, it's a departure. That's the one where airplanes depart, which is just okay. There's Emergency, which actually I think is the best map in the bunch. Emergency is actually pretty good. It has a good layout, and I like its design. It's very, very theatric. They have like this meat map, which is their small map, and they're always trying to have like their own version of Rust or Nuketown. They're trying to have their like mini map. They keep trying to do it, and it's just, I don't know, it just never hits for me. They got Das Haus is actually quite cool here. It feels a lot like a Modern Warfare 3 map from 2011, if a DLC one, if you can catch my drift, if you know the one that I'm talking about. And there's one that's like a little tiny, I guess it's a big house, but again another small map, and it's just like none of these maps really. I'm probably not going to remember most of them, even if they have names like Mate. You know, it's just. It's not going to hit for me, but they're okay. You know, like I said, Sledgehammer's map design is fine. I think of all of them, Treyarch tend to take the piss the most, but they also tend to create the best maps. None of these are as bad as some of Treyarch's worst maps. Like, none of these are Black Ops 4 or Black Ops 3 bad. None of them are Advanced Warfare bad. They're all just fine. There's tons of weapons in this game now, though. My God, there's so friggin' many. Unfortunately, a lot of them are DLC. If you're willing to reach into your deep pockets, then you can have some of those. But still, you know, there still are additional weapons to unlock now for free. And I've been going through that, and I've been unlocking some new ones and leveling those up too, so that's given me something new to do. We still have the daily challenges, and there's plenty of those, so that's enough to keep you entertained. And overall, there's just a lot I would say, you know, you can't really unlock operators. That's still another pay-for thing. But you have a plethora of like emblems and calling cards and what have you to unlock. So coming back to this game, am I impressed? Yes, I'm impressed by the sheer amount of content here. I'm impressed by the giant pool of maps to pull from. I think that is impressive, and you cannot deny that. There is a lot here. I'm impressed by the overall level of content here. But I always liked this game. I think I only moved away from it because, you know, I just wanted to dig into those other games and give them a shot, and I was always going to come back. I feel more rejuvenated by this game coming back to it than I usually do coming back to these games. I usually do a retrospective, and I start playing the game around about this time, and saving the knowledge that I'm going to drop it eventually. But at the moment, I want to jump back in, and once I finish a couple more single player games, I probably will main it again. It has been a lot of fun. I just think that overall this game plays tremendously well and is just overall fun, and this addition of like a ton of content, this giant wave of content, really sweetens the deal. So I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but I think this game is fun, and hopefully I'll have the gusto to keep playing it. But maybe I'll let you know. Maybe I'll just go on hiatus for a bit. I'll see everyone later.
PlayStation's only $149, and you can also get leading titles.
Alan Wake 2, Remnant 2, to name a few.